Alright, hi, welcome to the test drive. We're going to be starting with our model number here. We're actually the model of the car, which is a Volkswagen Jetta. And then we'll put the VIN, we'll just make a random VIN, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then notes, we will enter test car 1, because we feel that a lot of automotive companies will probably have their own names designated for each test car. So if they want to save all the information of the log and kind of notify to anybody that's looking to log what test car was used, they can do it that way, and they'll have all the other information available too. Alright, so we're about to start our first test drive. I'm going to go ahead and hit the play button right at the top. That button is visible on all screens, so if I go to data, export, vehicle, that button stays persistent. You can start it on any screen, makes it easier. So we're going to hit the start button. At the bottom, we'll notice the log has started, so there's a timestamp there and it's incrementing. And now we can freely change all the conditions that we have. So it's not raining anymore, we'll put wet. Road type is concrete. Road condition is slightly bumpy. Visibility is still clear. And traffic congestion is still light. So we're going to save all those values. Hit save there. And it'll show us that the new drive has started. And as we go through, these values will be added by the end of the drive. So we'll keep on adding, we'll stay on the recorder screen and keep on adding any perception that we see. Alright, so we're coming to a pretty bumpy area. I'm going to go ahead and change from slightly bumpy to bumpy and save that value. So we notice that we do have a visual confirmation. Anytime we make a change, it does say saved at the bottom. It lets you know that the log has been appended. So if we look at the data log, we see here that traffic congestion has changed to medium and road condition has changed to bumpy. So it did record those logs. So it started to sprinkle again. I'm going to go ahead and just, under weather condition, I'm going to add the rain value and append that to the log as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of make up some values just to show you that it works on the phone as well. The UI is a little bit smaller, but it's still totally accessible and pretty easy to use. So just like the other one, we have all the conditions listed here, and I've already set some. I'm going to go ahead and save those, and we have the same kind of visual confirmation. And as we go through the drive on the way back to OU, I'll be entering other values to the log, and I'll show you all the different map points that we can have. And we will notice that it is still recording, so I can verify that up at the top by seeing the time that's elapsing there at the log. Or I can look, if I go to record, I can look at the timestamp of the actual log there too. On top of that, the user can at any time go to the notifications bar, and it will say that the test drive is currently logging. We don't have a timestamp there, but it gives the user the notification that it is active. So another important feature is if you do happen to have a timeout or something turns off the tablet, or even just the display off, which we'll do right now, the actual log should remain active. So we turn it back on and we unlock, and the log is still active. So even if you forget to change that feature, if you want to keep it on all the time, the log will not turn off as the tablet turns off and the display turns off. If I go to the home screen, go to any other screen, the log will still remain active as well. So if I go back to test drive, the log is still active. So we just got onto a dirt road. I already hit dirt. I'm going to add it there for visual confirmation. And the road is pretty bumpy, so I'm going to go ahead and put bumpy. There we go. Hit the save button, and those values will be added to the log at that timestamp. Okay, so I want to go ahead and show the ability to delete the logs, or the entries in the logs rather. So we're going to make a mistake, and we're going to put for weather conditions, snow. We'll put for road type, off-road, and road condition, very bumpy. And I'll save that value, and then at the end of the drive, when we see the error, we can go ahead and remove it at any time. So we've reached our final destination, and to stop the log, I'm just going to hit the stop button right at the top here, and that will stop the log. So now that we've finished our drive, we can look back at the log, and we'll notice that those errors are there. We're going to go ahead and remove that from the log by just swiping to the left and confirming the deletion here, and now it's gone. I'm just kind of looking at the data screen now to show all the different map points. So if we zoom out, we'll notice that there are multiple map points that were recorded. Those are all the areas in which I put different values. The new drive was started here on South Adams Road. If I go down further and say click one of these other values, it'll take us to where that value was recorded. And this will just make it easier for engineers to understand which roads are bad or which areas are heavier in traffic, or exactly just give them the information of what has changed in this area and how it affects the performance of the vehicle itself. Okay, so also if I click on any of the map points, it'll give us a little notification of exactly what was changed there. So if you don't want to look at the log, or the log is kind of confusing, you can go to each map point and just click on something here. Click on it, it'll show you what has been changed at that location. Okay, so we finished our original drive. What we're going to go ahead and do is move over to the export. We have two options here. We can copy the database to external storage, which is what we're going to do right now. The other option is clear database, and that will be if you maybe didn't like the drive, or maybe there was something wrong with the logs. But first we're going to go ahead and copy. So we copy, we get a little notification at the bottom that gives us the storage location of that log, and that will be exported right onto the external storage of the device. In this case, there will be an SD card. Whatever your phone is using, most likely it'll be an SD card. So the other option we have is to go ahead and clear the database. And if we do that, click the button, it'll say database cleared, and what we're going to do is go ahead and close out the app. We'll swipe it down, and we reopen, everything will be cleared, so we don't have anything in the vehicle. Record doesn't really change. Just get that keyboard out of the way, and the data screen will be completely clear as well, and we can start another drive anytime we want.